My name's Eric and this video is entitled Traumatic Avascular Necrosis of the Femoral Head. And one of the reasons I'm producing this, well, there's two reasons I suppose. One is that when I did a search for trying to get information on YouTube about somebody with such an injury, I couldn't find anything. I could find plenty of people who'd had total hip replacements, well, not really so much the story leading up to that total hip replacement other than normal arthritic hips. The other videos I came across were produced by surgeons advertising their various skills and implements that they can shove in your legs basically to repair damaged hips. So this is a sort of more personal story about what happened to me. So basically I had a motorbike accident 10 years ago and I broke both femurs. The femur is the bone that goes from the knee to the hip. So I believe it's the longest bone in the body. And this one was broken in the middle, which is a fairly easy repair to do, I believe. They make an incision just there and shove what we call a nail, although it looks more like a rod, down the centre of the bone. The two halves of the bone are brought together, and over a period of time those two halves knit together again. And there's not likely to be any further consequences of that repair. And there wasn't in my case. That right leg's healed nicely. The left leg, unfortunately, the left femur was broke at the neck. That's the part of the femur just below the top, the head of the femur. The head of the femur requires a large blood supply, and if the neck of the femur is fractured, that blood supply is obviously interfered with. You can screw the two halves of the bone back together again, and in my case they use a dynamic hip screw. It's not the largest scale on this side of it. You get that dynamic hip screw in. It's like a plate that goes on the outside of the bone, and it goes up into the neck and the head. So like a screws it both halves together. So they can fix the bones okay, but what they can't guarantee is that blood supply re-established. Now if the blood supply doesn't re-establish, over a period of time the head starts to collapse. Now sadly the surgeons cannot predict that immediately after the surgery, and I was told it would take about a year. So after nothing had happened on the x-rays for about a year and a half, I assumed everything was fine, and I started running again. I was quite happy with everything and confident that there wasn't going to be any more talk of avascular necrosis. And then I went for an independent medical. This was paid for by the other side, the guy who caused the accident. And I was told I got the early stages of avascular necrosis. I inquired as to whether I should carry on running. I wasn't given any particular advice, so I carried on running until I couldn't. I probably ran about another year or two after that. That's even 3 years. And well, I was getting increasing discomfort. Not so much to some extent while I'm running, but more the day after. The limp would be, I'd have a very pronounced limp the day after. The other thing I noticed is that the leg was getting shorter. So that was causing a limp just as I'm walking along. So I started putting padding, first of all on the inside of the shoe, and because that wasn't sufficient I had to put an extra thick sole on the shoe on the left. I'll show you that in a second. Without that padding, the limp's just too severe. Anyway, over a period of time, the avascular necrosis doesn't stand still, it carries on avascularising, so to speak, and the head collapses more, and eventually you ended up in a state where I guess you couldn't even get out of bed. Fortunately not at that stage. I can still run a little bit actually. I was on the treadmill this morning, although I don't normally do much running. I can do all the other exercises in the gym. The thing that's bugged me though is when I go on holiday, when I want to walk, I'm not able to walk more than about 3 miles without discomfort. So I've now decided to have surgery to rectify that. The surgeon I'm going to, I won't mention his name, but he was sort of 50-50 as to whether it was a good idea or not. He thinks I will be better off as long as things go okay. There's a possibility I could be worse off, particularly if I get rid of any infections. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping things are going to be okay. So I'm going for that surgery in 3 days' time. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm hoping to be able to, there's going to be quite a long recovery, I believe. I'm going to be a week in hospital. It'll be 6 weeks before I can drive a car again. Not sure how long it is before I can have sex again, but that's sort of academic in my case. So yeah, I'll just show you the feet themselves. See what I've done for the shoe. Okay, so you can see what I've done with that left shoe there, just to make it, just to pad it out, extra thick sole on it, and there's padding on the inside as well. And if I'll take the shoes off and I'll just show you what the length difference is like then. Okay, so this is without the shoes on, and you can see if I do that. That's with both feet planted on the ground. You can see what this one's bent because that one's straight. If I straighten this right one, that one goes like that. There's an inch difference. So you get to like that. That's the there we go. I'll just move the camera again. So, it's all going off in the next few days. Hopefully I'm going to take this camera with me. I'm going to get some video of the x-rays pre-surgery and post-surgery. Might be able to do, if we can get somebody's older camera to show you what sort of walking I can do.